When Kawasaki brought out the Ninja 1100 SX, there were grievances over its compromise on power output and growing engine size. Pragmatism eventually showed that raw horsepower is not all it takes to be great. The Ninja's reworked formula of smoothness, handling, and torque propelled it to a genius of a higher order. For 2026, Kawasaki brings the same thinking to another icon, the Z1000, reinventing it as the all-new Z1100, a motorcycle that takes the concept of street fighter sophistication into a whole new realm. After a brief absence from nations like the UK, where it had been successfully usurped by the Z900, the Z1000 is back with a bang in the form of the new Z1100 nameplate. The model is brought back to life with a welcome boost in capacity and a series of technical revisions to make the return worthwhile. The transition from 1043cc to 1099cc may appear trivial on paper, but the engineering behind it holds the promise of a basic personality change. The additional cubic capacity comes courtesy of a stroke increase of 3 mm, from 56 mm to 59 mm, with the same bore at 77 mm. That calls for a new crankshaft and more robust internal components, with greater rotational weight. The numbers aren't going to be wow in a spec sheet war, but the updates translate to more on-the-fly and rewarding real-world acceleration. The emphasis has obviously been more on more mid-range torque, and that translates to a significant power delivery that's more robust in day-to-day ride conditions. Power does hit 134.1 horsepower at 9,000 RPM, slightly below the Z1000's 140 horsepower, but achieving 1,000 RPM more quickly. Torque does rise to 83.3 pound-feet at 7,600 RPM, up from the previous bike's 81.9 pound-feet. This smoother power curve into lower revving, less frantic acceleration. The sense of thrust is more accessible today with smooth riding capability to commuters tooling around city roads or when pursuing open highways. One of the largest performance character refinements for the Z1100 is its new electronic ride-by-wire throttle. The upgrade delivers snappy control over air and fuel flow by means of reworked intake hardware, new camshafts, and more robust valve springs. New pistons for better combustion efficiency, and a completely new 421 exhaust system discharging into a single silencer on the right side, as opposed to the Z1000's twin outlets. Not just beneficial for emissions and flow, but also contributes to making the exhaust note deeper and throaty. The 6-speed transmission has been provided with longer 5th and 6th ratios to fully exploit the wider torque band, reducing engine revs on motorway cruising. Gear changing is assisted by an optional bi-directional quick shifter, allowing clutchless up and down shifts with auto blip function. Power management is coordinated by a 6-axis inertial measurement unit, IMU, supplementing advanced, lean angle-sensitive traction control for the Z family. The IMU adds an even greater level of handling intelligence to the motorcycle, and this offers greater safety and responsiveness to adverse road conditions. While the power plant makes a giant leap forward, the chassis just keeps on keeping on with tried and tested geometry. The aluminum frame design, making its debut on the 2010 Z1000, remains at the core of the new bike. It's joined by Showa's 41mm SFF BP forks and the proprietary horizontal backlink rear suspension. Streamlined in subtle ways though, the Z1000 is more responsive and balanced than ever. There is a new swing arm that has standard chain adjusters in place of the previous eccentric setup, which is simpler to service and provides increased stiffness. The rear brake caliper sits above the swing arm now, allowing room for a 260mm rear disc, up from the previous 250mm. Up front, the 310mm discs maintain the same diameter but shift to a standard round type rather than pedal-style rotors, with Kawasaki-branded radial monoblock calipers for an even higher level of sophistication. The SE model of the Z1100 takes the sophistication to a higher level with an Öhlins S46 rear shock and Brembo 4-piston radial calipers. These are identical high-end specifications available on the Ninja 1100 SX SE and reflect a level of refinement more akin to superbikes. The Dunlop SportMax Q5A tires, 120/70/17 front, and 190/50/17 rear, deliver aggressive grip and stability and enable the Z1100 to perform with confidence under aggressive and relaxed riding. Even with new technology and chassis improvements, the wet weight of the Z1100 is the same as the old Z1000s, 221 kilograms with a full tank. Its dry weight of 201 kilograms enables the bike to stay agile and well-balanced. Ergonomics are also addressed. Repositioned handlebars are 22 millimeters wider and 13 millimeters more forward, giving more leverage and a more natural riding position. The adjustment gives steering feedback and contributes to forming a lighter, more precise handling character. Seat height is the same at 815 millimeters. And the 17-liter fuel tank retains the same sculpted appearance that has been a hallmark of the Z family. The front cowl carries the aggressive, minimal Tsugomi styling motif of energy and purpose, and gives the Z1100 a commanding street presence. Technological sophistication extends beyond the engine and chassis. The previous generation's dated LCD display has been replaced by a vivid 5-inch, full-color TFT instrument cluster. This new interface supports Kawasaki's Rideology app, enabling smartphone connectivity, music control, ride logging, and turn-by-turn navigation. Riders can now access real-time data and adjust performance settings with ease. The Z1100 Ride-by-Wire also offers up new electronic niceties, such as factory-standard cruise control, a first in its class. It has 3 rider-programmable modes for 3 road conditions for its cornering traction control system. Mode 1 for dry, high-traction roads, Mode 2 for wet and mixed conditions, and Mode 3 for wet or slippery roads. Power delivery is variable through riding modes of Sport, Road, Rain, and Rider, the last of which is fully variable to personal preference. The efficiency improvements are comparable to the improvements in performance. Both increased torque curve aggression and higher gearing are part of the logic through which fuel consumption is diminished. Emissions have fallen from the Z1000's 151 grams per kilometer CO2 to the Z1100's 126 grams per kilometer, thanks to improved combustion and more efficient motor. Although official fuel economy figures have yet to be released, these figures suggest a cleaner, more efficient motorcycle without compromising on sporting nature. From the seat, the Z1100 is recognizable but unmistakably refined. The wider bars, mirror finish controls, and more refined power delivery all contribute to a motorcycle that's as aggressive as it is composed. It remains grounded in its naked performance roots, yet includes the modern rider aids and comfort features one would anticipate from a high-dollar 2026 model. In reality, the 2026 Kawasaki Z1100 is the ideal evolution of the contemporary street fighter, a motorcycle that does not betray its rough, woolly heritage, but that does not forego astute engineering and intelligent technology. It gives up marginally horsepower at the edges for everyday usability, and in the process creates a more capable and more enjoyable motorcycle. With its established engine personality, modern electronics, and improved comfort, the Z1100 will again be one of the most desirable and well-rounded naked sport bikes on the market.